Suppose you've just come in from the rain and dried your body and put on dry clothes. Would you willingly go back into the rain? That's a quote from Chinua Achebe's A Man of the People, and it's a question that defines human nature. Sometimes, the best way to understand the world of money and power isn't through a spreadsheet, but through a story. We're stepping into the vibrant, chaotic, and darkly funny world of 1960s African politics. We're talking about Chinua Achebe, the father of modern African literature, and his prophetic masterpiece, A Man of the People. By the end of this 20-minute summary, you're going to see exactly how power corrupts, why the people often cheer for the very villains who rob them, and what happens when a personal grudge turns into a national revolution. Let's get into it. Part 1. The Minister and the School Teacher. Our story follows Odili Samalu. He's young, he's educated, and he's incredibly cynical. He represents that new generation that looks at the government and just shakes its head. Chief Nanga is the Minister of Culture, but let's be real, he doesn't know a thing about culture. He's a former school teacher who realized that politics pays better than the classroom. When Nanga visits Odili's village, he's greeted like a god. There are dancers, hunters firing guns in the air, and the local principal is basically bowing at his feet. Odili is standing in the back, judging everyone. But then something human happens. Nanga recognizes Odili. He treats him like a long-lost son, invites him to the capital city Bori, and promises him a prestigious scholarship to study in London. The human element. Notice how quickly Odili's principles start to wobble? He hates everything Nanga stands for, yet he packs his bags for the minister's mansion anyway. It reminds us that it's easy to be a critic when you're broke, but much harder when the person you hate offers you a seat at the table. Part 2. The Mansion and the Ultimate Betrayal. Odili arrives in the city and is blown away. Nanga lives in a palace with air conditioning, a huge deal at the time, servants, and a constant flow of expensive beer. He realizes that Nanga isn't just a politician, he's a brand. But then, the story stops being about politics and starts being about ego. Odili has a girlfriend named Elsie. He invites her to the mansion, hoping to impress her with his new high society connections. But Chief Nanga, a man who thinks everything belongs to him, uses his status and charm to seduce Elsie right under Odili's nose. Odili hears them together in the next room. It's the ultimate humiliation. This is the turning point of the book. Odili doesn't want to take Nanga down anymore because he's corrupt. He wants to take him down because he's hurt. Transitioning into the body of work, this is where Achebe is brilliant. He shows us that history isn't always made by grand ideologies. Sometimes it's made by two guys fighting over a girl. Odili leaves the house that night, fueled by a revenge that is 10% political and 90% personal. Part 3. The Revenge Campaign. Odili joins a new opposition party, the CPC, Common People's Convention. His goal? Run against Nanga in the upcoming election. But Odili isn't just trying to win Nanga's seat, he's trying to steal Nanga's trophy wife-to-be, Edna. As Odili travels through the villages to campaign, he hits a wall of reality. He tries to tell the villagers, "Look, Nanga is stealing your tax money to buy these cars." And the villagers respond with, "Well, at least he's one of us. If we kick him out, the next guy will just steal too, and he might not even know our names." It's a heartbreakingly human realization. The people aren't always looking for a saint, they're looking for a patron. They see the government as a big cake, and they just want a leader who will throw them a few crumbs. Part 4. The Chaos and the Prophecy. The climax of the book is absolute mayhem. As the election nears, the country falls apart. Nanga hires thugs for hire to burn Odili's campaign car and beat up his supporters. At a massive rally, Odili tries to speak, but he's spotted by Nanga's men. They beat him so badly he ends up in the hospital unconscious. While Odili is in a hospital bed, the country explodes. There's a military coup. The very man of the people, Chief Nanga, is arrested while trying to escape. The story ends not with a peaceful transition of power, but with a hard, cold military takeover. Fun fact, Achebe finished this book right before the real-life 1966 coup in Nigeria. It was so accurate that some people actually thought he was involved in the plot. So what's the takeaway for us here at BloomShelf Hub? Achebe shows us that whether it's a 1960s government or a modern-day corporation, the man of the people is often just a man for himself. But he also warns us that when we stop caring about integrity because everyone is doing it, we pave the road for chaos. I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Odili was actually a hero? Or was he just a bitter intellectual who got lucky? And have you ever seen a man of the people in your own life or career? Let's talk about it below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic literature, hit that like button and subscribe. This is BloomShelf Hub, your home for the books that make you think, grow, and occasionally just relax and enjoy the story. Stay tuned because next week we're heading back into the world of high finance, but with the lessons of Chief Nanga still in our heads. See you in the next one.